Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we're going to explore the extreme bonus capabilities of Nano Banana Pro. The Gemini 3 Pro model, Gemini's latest and most advanced model, was released very recently. It now understands much better text and can generate more advanced images, video and audio. Nano Banana represents the image generation part of this, and it has really raised the bar. I've experimented with it a little bit, so if you're ready, let's briefly look at what we will see in this video today. First, we will see that it has improved the reasoning capabilities. We can access real-time information, and I will give you details about that. Next, text rendering, meaning writing characters, has been updated. For now on, we won't encounter errors when writing words or text in different languages. Image generation in complex logic and sequencing scenarios has improved also. When we combine different objects, we can now think while retrieving the image. Also, studio quality and creative control has evolved. What does it mean? Camera angles, moving objects, or changing focus are now much better and easier. It can also maintain consistency for up to 5 characters. Previously, it couldn't handle the consistency of even one character very well, but now it provides good consistency for up to 5. Finally, we can get outputs in 4K and 2K high resolution. In a moment, we will take a look at how to use them. If you're ready, let's start immediately.
Why does this new version, Nano Banana Pro, operate on a completely different level than the previous one? Because this model is no longer just an AI that generates images. It emerges as a system that can literally think, understand the world, pull live data from the internet, and turn it into something creative. Let's break down these 3 updates step by step with simple and great examples. The first big leap, reasoning power. Now, before creating a scene, Banana analyzes physically how it should function. It thinks beforehand, then draws. For example, when we say a cat sitting on glass, it doesn't just draw a cat. It used to be like that. Now it calculates all logical elements, such as how the cat's paw will press against the glass, how the light will refract through the glass, and where the reflection will fall. It draws completely based on logic and laws of physics, starting from zero guesswork. The second innovation is word knowledge. This model knows how the real world works. It recognizes concepts, cultural elements, processes, details of famous structures, everything. For instance, when we say make a water cycle infographic, it doesn't just draw random shapes with weird text. It legibly shows where precipitation settles, how evaporation occurs, etc. It places everything correctly. Essentially, it researches real-world knowledge, understands the topic, and makes infographics for you accordingly. And for me, the crazy feature is real-time information. It connects to Google Live, it's Google's model. After all, it pulls that instant information and visualizes it for you, even if the information is current. For example, if we say create a panel showing the current weather in Tokyo, the old model couldn't do this. It doesn't draw a made-up estimate or a fake graph anymore. It takes whatever is actually happening in Tokyo at that moment and visualizes it. Rain, 18 degrees Celsius, it places everything exactly.
In short, we can think of the old Nano Banana as a talented painter working in a place without internet. It produced great things, but wasn't aware of what was happening outside. Nano Banana Pro, on the other hand, is like a painter with a smartphone. It researches the world, looks at current information, combines what it sees with logic, and we can have it produce accurate, modern, and incredibly beautiful scenes. That's why saying the model has been updated is really not enough. Sure, the Gemini 3 Pro version has arrived with more than advanced capabilities, but it has transferred it entirely to Nano Banana as well. Now, when we want a photo or give a comment, Nano Banana will think, make logical deduction and reduce accordingly. Isn't it great?
Now, for the second big innovation coming to Nano Banana, text accuracy. It means that now font characters are consistent and wrong letter issues have been completely eliminated. Moreover, this applies not just to one language. It writes characters and words flawlessly in Turkish, English, French, it doesn't matter. For example, we are going to design a poster, make an ad visual, or prepare an infographic to present at school. Since we are preparing it for school, the accuracy of the text and characters is very important, right? It needs to be error-free. This version is extremely reliable in this regard. Before moving on to examples, let me quickly explain how to access Nano Banana for those who don't know. After logging into gemini.google.com, you need to select the new option Gemini 3 Thinking with 3 Pro in the model section at the bottom right corner. Then, after clicking the Create Image icon under the text box, we switch to Nano Banana 3. Let's prepare a sample prompt to test text accuracy immediately. By the way, to access all prompts, just type command in the comments. I will send you a list of all the commands and prompts used in this tutorial. Alright, let's test Nano Banana Pro's text accuracy in real time. Imagine we're sitting here together and trying it out. First prompt that I called classroom poster with complex text. So first let's do a classroom poster. I typed a clean modern educational classroom poster titled The 4 Seasons include 4 large sections: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Add detailed English text under each section describing weather, activities, and clothing. Add colorful icons next to each paragraph. Perfectly aligned typography, no spelling mistakes, bright and kid-friendly design. And look at this, every paragraph is perfectly aligned, 0 spelling errors. The colorful icons match naturally, making it fun and kid-friendly. I can literally see printing this and hanging it in a classroom. Every single word looks professional. Second example prompt is called Product Packaging with Long Text plus Labels. Let's try something trickier, a product box. And check this out, every single label, every tiny instruction, every ingredient is perfectly readable. Usually small text on packaging gets messy or misaligned, but here, spot on. This is ready to go straight to print or online presentation. And the last and third prompt, street sign plus multilingual text. Let's push it with multilingual text. I typed a highly detailed street sign for an international museum. Top line in English, National Museum entrance. Second line in Arabic. Add small direction labels. Tickets, guided tours. Open daily 9:18. Place everything on a metal sign in a real urban environment. Crystal clear, perfectly spelled multilingual text. And look at that! Both English and Arabic text are perfectly aligned and spaced. No weird breaks, no errors. This looks like an actual street sign, ready to go up outside a museum. The point? Nano Banana 3 nails text accuracy every single time. Posters, packaging, street signs, you name it. Everything is crisp, clear, and professional. And if you want all the prompts I'm using in this tutorial, just type command in the comments. I'll send you the full list.
Let's move on to the next feature. This new feature of Nano Banana is called Complex Logic and Sequencing. Nano Banana is now more impressive when it comes to organizing complex scenes. Let's examine this with an example. I will give Nano Banana Pro a photo of a completely messed child's room. Logos, toys, clothes everywhere. Absolutely a chaos. And I will simply load this prompt. Can you organize the room in the photo I uploaded pick up the items and place them. Just that much. The moment the model processes the image, the room turns into something else entirely. It identifies every object one by one, understands logically where they belong, and creates the organized version of the scene as you can see. Legos are now already gathered. Clothes are put in their place. In other words, it organizes the messiness of the room through a logical process and shows a beautiful photo in a tied up state. This shows us that Nano Banana Pro doesn't just generate the image, it understands the scenes, solves the relationship between objects, applies physics and logic rules, and rearranges complex environment with human logic. Now let's go on and see another example.
This time, let's test the model in a different scene. Let's see if it can logically visualize an explosion that could result from an accident in a laboratory. My prompt is, the robot arm individual accidentally drops the red liquid it is holding into the glass setup. I don't say anything else. I upload my visual. Notice that I didn't tell Nano Banana to draw an explosion. I didn't say glass will break or make it very dangerous. I gave a simple, very easy command. I said the robot arm accidentally drops the red liquid into the glass setup. The moment the model reads this, it engages the logic of the laboratory environment. It performs logical reasoning. It thinks a chemical reaction could occur. It calculates that this reaction will lead to an explosion. It creates a chain of reasoning. The explosion will break the glass. The assistant inside will panic. The environment will be scattered. And a dangerous scene will emerge. As you can see, it analyzes these events and prepares a visual even though nothing was mentioned in the command. Here is our visual. Let's move on to another feature.
This new capability of Nano Banana Pro, studio quality and creative control feature. Thanks to this feature, you can change the camera angle, orchestrate the placement of the objects, shift the focus point completely elsewhere, and produce photos transform into cinematic frame every time, as if managing the scene with a professional camera crew.
Based on my experience, prompts related to this feature in the previous model usually disappointed me. I used to try many times, especially to get wide angle or low angle photos. But here, with the extreme shot support as a feature of this, we can get better, high quality photos. It can understand difficult shots like extreme wide angle, extreme low angle, or dramatic perspective flawlessly on the first try. Wonderful scenes emerge. So, my first prompt is this. I have a scene, my own photo, I'm in an attic. Reshot this exact image using 60mm wide angle lens from low angle. And Nano Banana Pro immediately reads the scene, pulls the camera up a bit, and applies the 60mm wide angle. The image remains completely the same, but the perspective is recreated. Surface deformation, perspective wide angles, low dramatic angles, everything is perfectly in place. There is no distortion. It's one-to-one. In my second prompt, there is a photo of a rose in a city scene. But in this rose photo, the focus is primarily on the rose, meaning the city in the background appears blurred. My prompt is this, uploading my photo. Shift the focus entirely to the bustling city street in the background. The red rose in the foreground should be completely blurred out. Here, I am trying to shift the focus to the background and blur the rose out of focus. Immediately after entering my prompt into Nano Banana and uploading my photo, it applies the focus logic clearly. The red rose in the foreground becomes completely blurry and the moving city image in the background comes out clean and sharp. It solves it exactly with the depth of field logic of a real camera and applies it to the scene. Again, as I said, I applied this in the old version too. On the contrary, when I requested focus, the focus never left the rose. The effect of the photo remained exactly the same, but maybe if you try this many times, the old version might do it. In short, thanks to studio quality and creative control, it is very easy to make visuals cinematic in different scenes and shapes. We can view the model as a camera, direct the scene, and start constructing it like real cinematography. If you are ready, I continue with another feature. Yes. Now let's take a look at Nano Banana Pro's character consistency together. This is a really important test. Because the previous version did a pretty good job with one or two characters, but it struggled with multi-character scenes. In fact, when we wanted to render and photograph a single character repeatedly, it would break the character's consistency. For the new version, there is a claim that it can process many different characters consistently at the same time. That's why I wanted to upload different characters I had ready and observe this capability. My prompt is briefly as follows. Again, you can find the long version by typing command in the commands. Depict the characters I uploaded having fun in a modern cafe in a hyper-realistic style consistently. I upload the characters to Nano Banana, copy-paste the prompt, and run it within a short time. It performs logical reasoning again. The result, in my opinion, is truly impressive. So although there are 7 characters together, not a single face is distorted. Pro Banana has highlighted its reasoning and thinking ability here. Every character has taken their place in the scene, preserved with their style, physical features, and expression integrity. The resulting visuals are consistent and of hyper-realistic quality, because I asked for hyper-realistic in the prompt. The Pro version has kept the bar quite high for character consistency. I think it produced a very high quality and good photo. If I try the same test on the old version for comparison purposes, same prompt, same characters, the result is a bit different. Some characters were not added. This is a significant negative. When added, some faces were distorted or there were problems with resemblance. So, the old version is not as good as the Pro in multi-character scenarios. The Pro model has made itself very good in this regard. Thanks to this feature, you can produce portfolio works if you want, or create content within a social media concept. You can work confidently with multi-character scenes. The more you experiment, the more creative results you can achieve. I can't get the desired result with a prompt in just one go either. I achieved this by trying and experiencing. Don't stay away from this rapid development of AI. I think you should experience these by trying them yourself. I'm quickly showing the second feature as well. Again, I leave the interpretation to you regarding how the same prompt performed in both the Pro and old versions. I wanted to show the character consistency here. Yes! One of the last features Nano Banana Pro offers us is the ability to take photos in 4K and 2K resolution, or to offer advanced creative controls with custom aspect ratios. So when we say make it 16:9 or 4K, expand the environment, give ultra detail, the interface does not yet work at full capacity with these commands. These advanced features are the workspace of Nano Banana professional models. Therefore, when we want to use such controls, the system naturally directs you to two options. First, we need to subscribe to Pro. In advanced models, for example, Gemini 2.5 Pro, we can access and generate higher quality visuals there. However, a subscription alone cannot add the manual resolution adjustment feature into the chat. Meaning, when we use the normal basic standard or free version, these features don't work fully. Or to adjust this to 2K or the aspect ratio, we can turn to Google AI Studio. These require API usage. When running by API, we can set the resolution directly to 4K or adjust aspect ratios to 1:1, 9:16, 24:9, and many other ratios. It's even better for camera angles and such. So if you want to print in high resolution, reproduce for commercial work, or do these jobs for money in cinematic scenes, we can access this via Google AI Studio. In short, screen resolution and aspect ratio controls are not here for now. That's why we can handle advanced settings via the Pro model and APIs from Google AI Studio.
And honestly, I believe this is just the beginning. When you use this model the right way, your portfolio grows, your ideas take off faster, and the work you create starts to carry this beautiful, professional touch that really stands out. I'm going to keep expand this series with more tests, more features, more creative examples, and of course, strong prompt sets and new videos. You're always welcome here. I love having you along on this journey. If you want access to all prompts, just write comment in the comments and I will send you everything. And before we wrap up, let's not forget to have like this video, leave a comment and subscribe. Because from here on, I truly believe the content will get even stronger, exactly the kind of work you have been wanting to see. Take care, much love and see you in the next one.